The only way they can catch me is to stop me from speaking. They want to take away my voice. And a judge gave a gag order today. Did you hear that on speech? Which I believe is totally unconstitutional, what she did. A judge gave a gag order. A judge doesn't like me too much. Her whole life is not liking me. But she gave a gag order. You know what a gag order is? You can't speak badly about your opponent.
That was former President Donald Trump responding to a Washington, D.C. court order banning him from harassing court officials or witnesses by harassing a judge on live television. You have to hand it to Trump. The guy just refuses to learn a lesson. Trump has had a rough few days in his various courtrooms. Let's start in Washington, D.C., where Tanya Chutkan spent most of the week slapping Trump's attorneys around like amateurs. At one point, Trump's lead counsel made an argument so stupid Chutkan couldn't help but laugh in his face. Chutkan also made clear that Trump's trial will begin in March of next year, despite Trump's lawyers asking for a date in 2026. But it was the gag order preventing Trump from defaming Jack Smith and jury members and members of the court that really got the MAGA movement fired up. And boy, you know this is a five-alarm Trump fire because large adult son Donald Trump Jr. is on the case. And apparently he's now broadcasting from a spooky old warehouse. Take a look.
Jack Smith, a prosecutor with a history of political hit jobs and shadiness. My father has rightly called out Jack Smith for hiring Democrat-donating prosecutors and leading a deranged case. That's fact. Look at how he's been overturned. Look at the radicals that they magically drew to be judges and otherwise.
Listen, all I'm going to say is that this video would probably be more convincing if Donald Trump Jr. wasn't as red as a cranberry and noticeably slurring words like prosecutors. But hey, I'm sure Donnie Jr.'s doing just fine. And when Trump wasn't smearing the names of judges and court staff in D.C., he was smearing the name of Attorney General Letitia James in New York because Trump was back in court in New York this week, and he made clear that he is not happy. See for yourself.
This is a disgraceful situation. This is an Attorney General, Letitia, that went out and campaigned on, I will get Trump. I will get Trump no matter what. I'll get Trump. I promise I'll get him. We have 2 tapes on her now that have come out since the trial because people took tapes of her because they couldn't believe her ranting and raving like a lunatic. But this is the Attorney General of New York State, Letitia James, and she shouldn't be allowed to be Attorney General. She's defrauded the public with this trial.
That's the desperate, impotent anger of a guy who knows he's about to lose a major fraud trial, in part because he hired idiot lawyers who forgot to request a jury trial that he could have won. Man, couldn't happen to a nicer person. And in case you thought Trump had forgotten about that whole Mar-a-Lago being overvalued thing from a few weeks ago, no. He's still furious, and now Trump says efforts to fairly value Mar-a-Lago are part of a government conspiracy to make him look poor, or something like that.
But based on that, he ruled against me. He ruled fraud. I mean, he said fraud. They are the fraudulent people, because they ruled a house that was worth 18. They put down is worth 18 million, and it's worth maybe close to 100 times that amount. And based on that, they ruled against me, having to do with fraud, which is a big statement. But they are the frauds, because the house is worth $1 billion, $1.5 billion, $750 million. It's worth a fortune. It's the most expensive house probably in the world.
It's starting to become pretty clear how Donald Trump came up with the values of all of his properties, because I think he just took the price of Mar-a-Lago from $750 million to $1.5 billion American dollars in the course of about 15 seconds. And if that wasn't enough, Trump also released a second statement where he shouts at the American people about Peekaboo James. I have no idea, guys. Just watch this.
Any other judge in New York, the trial brought by the corrupt and racist AG, Peekaboo James, would be dismissed and over with. This case should never have been brought. It should never have been allowed. I have no rights. I don't even get, under any circumstances, a jury. Somebody said, oh, your lawyers didn't check a box. There's no box to check. Under this statute, you get no jury. You get no rights. Peekaboo has misrepresented values to the judge, like Mar-a-Lago being worth only $18 million.
So, serious question. Is there a racial thing behind calling Letitia James Peekaboo? Because it feels pretty racist, and it's just the latest sign that Trump is losing his grip in the face of mounting legal worries. Trump may talk tough to his supporters, but it's clear that the former president is starting to sweat. If you thought that was wild, check out this video, and as always, leave a comment below so you can let me know what I should cover next.